Hey everyone, Amanda Anderson here, Director of Marketing at Pira Consulting and co-host of the Hire Fire podcast. The Hire Fire podcast is looking to do a couple episodes on interviewing this February 2022. However, at the moment, I just wanted to do a short little vlog to tell you why I think job interviewing is not that effective. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hey, welcome back everyone. So here's the deal. I know it's really funny that I'm about to do multiple podcasts on interviewing and I work for a staffing company. And I'm sitting here saying, I don't think interviews are effective. I don't think that they work. I get it. That's silly. But here's why. And actually it's multiple reasons. So we typically, it's been proven, people hire and like people like themselves. So, I know since I've been on both sides of both hiring and, and interviewing, and then being the interviewee, I understand both sides, right? I can definitely say that I have been guilty of unconscious bias, of leaning towards people who I just connected with. And I thought were like me. I look for traits about myself in people I interview with. So there's bias there. And the reason that's important is we don't want to create what's called an echo chamber or just have a team that all think like ourselves. This isn't an equal opportunity, rah-rah thing. I literally believe that different minds working together will create a much better product or service, specifically product, because of what we deal with of placing people that maybe create software or applications. That diversity is really important. So when I look at interviewing now, I definitely look at it from a different perspective of, some people can interview very well, but not perform their job well. Or they can interview poorly, but they would be your highest performers. So the key is to try and find the right person based on the job, right? Well, if you're not in a sales job or in a job that, or maybe it's client facing where you would need charisma, that is true. You would have to have some charisma when you're dealing with people, with humans. But if you're not, if the job is, say, a manufacturing job, even a technology job, there's plenty of them where charisma is not that important, but performance and expertise is. That is when you kind of have to look at different techniques to find the right person, because you'd hate to lose that rock star because they're a person that maybe takes time to process information and, or maybe the person you're interviewing communicates very well via written or, nonverbal communication. So Slack or instant messenger kind of, discussions, they're very fluent and articulate, but when you put them on the spot in an interview, they kind of choke and freeze up. So what do you do, right? How do you handle that? Well, there's a few different things. Some of it has to do with, so we do IT staffing. For us, if we could make a perfect world, in my opinion, I would say that doing a blind test of whether it's coding or questionnaire or tests to just weed out some of the people who definitely don't know the information they need to know. And then get that pool of people knowing, hey, these people know what they're doing. Because if you go straight on experience, well, experience does not equal expertise. I'm going to do a little pat on my back here. So when I, unapologetic plug here of my abilities, but when I started doing digital marketing, I didn't have a lot of experience, but I was outperforming my peers hands down. that's the kind of person I was. I was new to the industry, though. I know I had to kind of pay my dues. But at the same time, you don't want to keep someone in a lower level position or not hire them just based on experience. And that's why I know we have to have metrics when we're weeding out candidates for jobs. Like we have to. But I think it's time as a society that we rethink how we evaluate people. Just like with schools, of what do you do with the kids that can't take written tests but are ridiculously smart? How do we as a society adapt to that? So I don't have all the answers, but I know that we're going to discuss this and more on the upcoming podcast on the Hire Fire podcast. So please stay tuned to that. They should be dropping in mid and late February. So I would love to have a discussion with anyone on this. If you see this and want to put some comments on, I would love to kind of go back and forth and have a discussion, because I know there are people that don't agree with me, but I also know that there are plenty of people who do. So let's have a debate. I'd love to know what you think the best way to interview and find good candidates is. Thank you. And until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Hire and Fire podcast, brought to you by Pira Consulting. Please check us out online via LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or at our website, piraconsulting.com. That's PIRA consulting.com.